Do you want to see how I made this? G'day everyone and welcome to episode 69. That is right, we are getting very close to the end now. This is going to be a pretty big episode, as I said. The main rock formation will be the big can I do it, can I not moment for me. So this video does go a little bit longer than normal, but let's just jump straight into it. I knew I didn't want to have just the rocks themselves. We had to create just a different type of elevation. So we are using the terrain tool, as frustrating as the terrain tool can be, just to try and flush out the heights and stuff like that. So I knew I wanted it to be pretty much level with how the building should be, with the first level to the right there and then the main drop here. So we're obviously using the big doors here as we want actual automated doors to open up for us when we get to that point of the ride. But this will show you just the different iterations of the video. I understand if you just want to cut to the end and see the finished product, but if you are here to watch how it was built, this is probably just as raw as a version as can get. This is just me opening the game and then just starting to throw a couple of pieces together. The orange rock work, I understand, is a little bit different to what's actually in the real park, and like it might annoy a lot of people, but I just feel like for what we're trying to do and just trying to be different in ourselves, I think it's starting to grow on me. Like, I'm still on the fence on it. I might come back to it at a later point to change it, but for now I feel like I just needed to get this part done to try and kickstart that part in my head of like I can finish the rest of the ride, because the rest of the ride's fairly easy. Probably not with what I'm planning to do, if I'm going to be honest with you, but just for the main parts and stuff like that it is pretty easy. So I did want to try and keep this this line going across the rocks to try and create depth. So you'll see me try different things in this to try and create that false depth that is very evident. The problem I found was that the door up the top is very big, and when people come out of it, it's very hard to create that depth perception when you can see someone sitting in the ride vehicle coming down. So that's something that I might have to deal with later, but for now you'll see me just building the little mine shaft that's on the top of this whole thing. It's obviously shrunk down to really tiny sizes to try and fit inside of the park. Trying to find the right balance of pieces to look detailed. Obviously it doesn't need to be too crazy because no one's really going to be getting up close to it, so I knew it had to have some sort of timber aspects. It just had to look right from a distance. So it was very easy to build up close, but yeah, I ended up just giving up on that part. So that there to the left is the iteration you just seen, and then this is me playing around trying to get things to fit a little bit better. So I played around with having the rocks vertical here, as I thought, well, that's different to what I've seen. So after playing around a little bit and putting a couple of trees in, this is what I ended up with to continue on. And then yeah, just continuing on with that layer height. I knew I wanted to have different tiers, so I wanted to have these massive rocks at the front so that when you're there at the base, these rocks look huge, and then as the rocks get taller and taller, they get smaller and smaller, trying to create that different depth. I do play around with a lot of iterations of this. Like, I know that my ride is just a little bit different. I know a lot of people want me to try and do like a proper recreation, but my goal is just to create something that fits inside of this park that we've been building, but also giving you the blueprint to create your own. I'm thinking that in episode 70 I might release something. I don't know what it is yet. I am trying to work on something and get it done, just for yourselves, just so you can download and have a go. But for now, we'll just get through this episode. The rock work itself, it's kind of hit or miss. To see how I'm trying to do these big pillaring bits that are off by themselves. When you really look at the Wild West Falls in real life, it's very basic. It's very flat. It's detailed, but there's nothing really like that stands out like this. Like, it's not as detailed with the rock work, with little birds' nests sitting in the crevices and stuff like that. Like, this is a bit overkill, if I could put it that way. So you'll see me here trying to create that depth perception of when I stood back, it couldn't be seen from, I'm saying from where the Scooby-Doo coaster is. If you can see it over the top of that building, I've gone too big, but then also it couldn't be like this crazy monstrosity. So you see here, like I'm starting to really see that depth that I'm really starting to like and getting them real angles. So the bit that's dangling above, that's pretty much just where I had all the rock pieces in the right orientation that I liked, so that I could just go up and just grab one or pull it down or do whatever. So you'll see me just adding rocks and rocks and rocks. I really love the detail that having these on their side created. And then obviously just having that layer line, trying to create height to make it's hit on me. So I don't know what you guys will think. To me, it's just at a point where I can move on knowing that, okay, I've done what I needed to do. The main rock work part's done. Let's just finish the ride and then we'll come back and tweak this later, because we might find a different path of what works and what doesn't. So I pretty much have the ride network laid out at the moment. It's currently underground because I'm still playing with heights and the location of this whole ride. I've been twisting it and turning it because I've realized that now that I'm using the terrain tool, this is permanent. This ride needs to be set up. Otherwise I've got to sit and redo all the dirt. I've got to redo all the water, because there's so many different aspects that work into it. As I said before, a lot of this stuff that I am working on at the moment isn't in the final build, but I do just want to show you my thought process when I'm going through a building like this, just to try and design it and stuff like that and get it ready. So this is when I really started to notice that things were starting to come together, and you've really got to put yourself in that rider's shoe, going up that mountain, seeing that mountain towering over the top of you with these big rocks. And then my idea of this is what I used in my Crash Bandicoot ride, was these little pot plants that looked like trees in the distance. And sadly, I don't know whether it works or it doesn't work. There's parts when I look at it and I go, yeah, that works, that fits in there. And there's other parts where I'm like, no, that didn't work. It's funny to see like the different iterations that this went through, that this was pretty much just a blank slate when we first started, and then just playing around with rocks. This is what we've slowly ended up with. So I knew that I loved the height of it. It looked really good from a distance. When you stand, so the free point of interest as I look at is the first ramp up, the front entrance of the ride, so when you stand and ride on that bend, and then also where the guests would stand to watch them come down the hill. They were the three areas that I really focused on getting right and trying to sort of fix up properly to get into the right position, so that I knew where that was, it was sorted, it was done, I didn't have to worry about it. I did do the ride photo booth and all that sort of stuff off camera, mainly because I feel like I'll come back through that area and redo it all near the end when it suits the ride a little bit better. But I hope you enjoy this one. Get ready for episode 70 on Friday. And yeah, it'll be great. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Do comment down below what you think of this so far. Like, it has been playing in my head what you guys will think. But most importantly, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Check out one of the next videos that are in this little title thing at the end, just as I finish up some rock work and yeah, hide some things with some trees. Thanks for watching.